Raven fans, tonight, get that Raven hat that's available on the website right now, along with your Raven jersey. Because Merry Christmas, Happy Easter, Happy New Year. It's the biggest night of the year for the football fans, you nerds out there that like the off-season stuff, that like the draft stuff. It's your day. It's draft day. Yes, sir. The National Football League annual selection meeting, as Chris Berman used to put it if it was ever called that. Draft day. Thank you for joining us on our pre-draft stream here tonight. We're going to have the NFL draft start here at 8 o'clock in about a half hour. So thank you all for joining us here on the Ravori Sports podcast for fans like me. Thank you all for checking us out this evening on the Ravori Sports podcast. So, what's going on tonight? This is the NFL draft. The Ravens are going to pick 30th in the draft, and we're going to find out who the next group of Baltimore Ravens are going to be. EDC, Eric DeCosta, the general manager, before he was the general manager, he was the head of scouting for the Baltimore Ravens, head of college draft for many, many years. So I don't think maybe you have too many teams that have had somebody in the draft room as long as EDC, Eric DeCosta, who has been running the draft as long as he has. So tonight, we are going to go ahead and check it out, the draft. What's going to happen tonight, guys? Let's talk about what's already happened. So Rashad Bateman signed with the Ravens yesterday. So I got the numbers now. It looks like 3 years, $15 million extension. So basically, he signed through this year, he signed through next year, and it takes him 1 year after the extension. So 3-year, $15 million that the Ravens have signed Rashad Bateman for his contract. Interesting to see that he go ahead and gets a deal like that. So the Ravens, who are on the clock, $15 million. I'm kind of the mindset with this type of contract. Maybe they were out of the drafting business. Maybe they were out of the business of drafting a player in the first round at the same position of wide receiver. 3 years, $15 million, maybe not. Maybe they're still looking at a Xavier Worthy. Maybe they're still looking at a Lad McConkey. Maybe you're still looking at an Adam Mitchell. A couple other names we haven't talked about as much. Xavier Leggett could be available tonight as well. A lot of people looking at him, 33rd Carolina Panthers. Ricky Parcell out of Florida, late one, early two. Maybe that would surprise you. You don't know. Brian Thomas falling a little bit at that position. We'll see. EDC, in his infinite wisdom, learning so many years from Ozzie Newsome, best player available. So this is an interesting deal. I don't really fear, like, if you're watching or you're listening in the comments, how do you guys feel about the Bateman deal? I don't know. I'm really kind of split on Rashard Bateman. He gets separation, very good at times. Definitely has all the capability of a number one receiver. We all think that, say that. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Can he stay healthy enough on the field to become a number one NFL receiver? Interesting to see if that is the case. Interesting to see how that fills out tonight as well. So, Ravens, what are we going to do tonight? Our prediction, Jordan Morgan in the first round from Arizona. That was our last mock draft that we had. Let's go over and get him up on the screen. First round, Jordan Morgan. Probably a guy that's not going to start possibly right away. He's a guy, if you want to start him, great strong guy, could probably start at right tackle possibly right away. So that is the thing. Most of the draft, most of the mock, most of the things I've seen, Morgan should be there at 30. He's had a lot of boards late first, early one. How many offensive tackles are going to go early? Very strong draft for offensive tackles. You're going to see Joe Alt. You're going to see Fashanu. You're going to see Fulaga. You're going to see J.C. Latham. You're going to see a lot of names here early in the first round. So a lot of maybe 7, maybe 8 offensive tackles in the first round. So it's a big need around the league, but how many are going to go earlier than the Ravens? I suspect Jordan Morgan should be there at 30 in the draft. Patrick Paul, we mocked last night for the second pick, 62. Very underrated. I think the only reason he's not higher is he played at a fairly small school. Houston, not a big time, big school there. A little bit smaller, a little bit under the radar. Morgan is a good first round. Paul is second. I don't think they're oceans apart. He's more on the left side. I could honestly see him. He's a better run blocker than what we think he is. Possibly right guard. I know a lot of people want Voorhees to start. He definitely could take it from him. Jaden McMillan, wide receiver from Washington, third round. I think still possibly in the receiver business. Third round is going to be a little harder to take a receiver, but you're going to see a name like this, maybe a Kean Coleman falling down boards a bit. Jaden McMillan, college teammate Sean Polk going ahead in the round as well. That's always a possibility in round 3. We'll see how that works out for them as well. I'm absolutely, totally loving this guy. Tommy Eitenberg for the Ohio State Buckeyes. The quote Gus Johnson. It's fantastic. For a late round pick, this is an absolute steal. Flies to the football, runs hard at the tackler. Some guys just have that nose for the football. Some guys just have that nose for it, that mindset for it. He absolutely has that. He absolutely has that nose, that dog in him. That some guys just have that ability to get to the football. Like Ed Reed used to have it. Ray Lewis used to have it. He's not that level of player, but he has that type of instinct, those ball instincts. EDC perked up so much in the Liars Lunch when he was talking about tagging a pass rusher in the middle rounds. It is possible that we could see a guy like this. This is typical of what they've been doing the last few years. Javon Solomon, outside linebacker from Troy. Very interesting pick that he could be. Checks all the boxes. Productive, small school, available in the middle rounds. This guy is a pass rush specialist that you can use him right away on third downs. Does he need to fill himself out, round himself out? Absolutely. But he's definitely a guy they could look at late. DJ James, tremendous speed. The slot is a need for the Ravens. They've been using Kyle Hamilton for the last couple years. So it'd be interesting to see, can they get that third cornerback in there? This is a guy with tremendous speed, 4.3 speed. This guy has ran a 4.4, been clocked at 4.3. Isaac Garando. Here's a guy who actually played at the same school as Lamar Jackson, catching passes out of the backfield. Complimentary back. Definitely a guy that can help you on special teams, help you in the offense, help you do a variety of things. They're very interesting small school prospect. Trey Taylor. I have mocked him every time. Trey Taylor is a terrific at the line of scrimmage. I could definitely see the Ravens or another team that takes him. Go ahead and get him. Another team that takes him, that move him to linebacker. He could play safety. I have him at safety. I think he can play safety, but he definitely needs to work on coverages and things. This is why he's back here so far, but definitely can play at the line of scrimmage. Jordan Jefferson was the last name. Look, Ravens like to take and develop linemen of this caliber late. Justin Matabuke, late round pick. Broderick Washington, mid-round pick. Brent Urban, mid-round pick. Michael Pierce, undrafted. Guys like that. Travis Jones, mid-round pick. So they like to take guys like this in the mid and late rounds and develop them into the system and have players. So that is kind of what the Ravens could be looking at. Will they trade back? Possibility. We'll go ahead and we'll talk about that as well. Now, let's talk about the broader draft because we got a lot of teams making changing decisions tonight as far as that goes. There are as many as 6 quarterbacks that could be taken in the first round. I don't know if they're going to be six, but definitely it could have six names there. Now, if you haven't seen it, we'll go over it. But this is my list, right? This is my list of players that I think is going to go in the first, that they're the top six of the drafted, the possible players that could be drafted in the draft early. Okay. My list of the possible guys that could be drafted early. All right. If I was doing it, Caleb Williams would be first. He's going to go first. I think the Bears are making the right decision by taking Caleb Williams. Same with the Commanders and Daniels, Jaden Daniels. I think he fits exactly what they do. I've said that the whole draft process. That if you have a Cliff Kingsbury there, if you have Dan Quinn there, who's had success with Russell Wilson, they can know what to do with the mobile quarterback. He's going to fit right in. Drake May is 3. Question is, where is 3? Right? Is that going to be New England? I think it's going to be New England. Minnesota, I've heard it all day long that Minnesota wants to get up and get Drake May. I don't blame them. I think Minnesota stays I think New England stays rather, unless it's beyond crazy. I think it would have to be 3 first-round picks or something like that for Minnesota, for the Pats not to take Drake May. Penix is 4. I think Penix in the old NFL, where they threw the ball downfield more, they took more risk and things like that. Penix would absolutely be a day one right up there in top. But the way he plays, it gives a little bit of team more pause. The system, he doesn't fit as well. Excellent downfield stuff from Michael Penix. I have Bo Nix 5. Bo Nix, I think, fits more what teams do. He's more dink and dunk, more precise, had a long college career. I think he's played like 6 years. I think he's going to be in the first round. And J.J. McCarthy, I have him 6 of 6. I think he's pretty far back from these guys here ahead of him. I do not understand all the McCarthy smoke. I watched a lot of Michigan games with Maryland being in the Big Ten. I don't understand why teams are trying so hard to get him early. I got no problem with he's got some potential, but I kind of said the same thing in Michigan. Why didn't you beat out Cade McNamara so easily? Why didn't you have more pass yards? And I know they had a run offense. I think he's 6. I think probably if I didn't even have him on my board of top 30. I'd have him about 70-ish. I'm surprised. I think he's going to go first. Now, what do I think is going to happen with the QBs tonight? What do I suspect happens? Okay, who goes first? Williams is going to go first. Caleb Williams, there's no question about it. Jaden Daniels is going to go second. I don't think there's a little question. There's some debate, a little bit of debate, whether it's Drake May or him. Maybe they didn't get along or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it is. I think Drake May is going to go third. It should be New England. I think it will be New England. Minnesota, I think, is going to do everything they can. The Giants are another team, may do everything they can to change New England's mind. And I don't think it's completely out the door that happens, but we will see about that. J.J. McCarthy, I think, is going to be 4 with Minnesota. I think Minnesota is going to pick 11. They're going to take J.J. McCarthy. I'm not sure you have to move up to do that. Not sure. The Giants is the only team I could think of ahead of them at 11 that would shock me if they went ahead and did it. But I do think they're going to take a quarterback. I think that's the very reason they got 2 first-round picks to get McCarthy. Bo Nix is 5. I think Bo Nix is going to be right behind him. Denver doesn't have a choice. Denver has got no choice. Denver, look, they're going to be starting Jarrett Stidham if they pass. They don't have a second-round pick. Ideally, I do think Denver would like to move back and get a few more picks and still do that, take Nix or Penix. I think they'd rather do that. I don't think they're going to be a taker. I don't think they goof around. Look, 4 quarterbacks are already taken. There's only 6 here. Penix, I'm not sure where he goes. I'm not sure he goes tonight. Seattle's possibility, interesting to see. I think you'll see him tomorrow as far as that goes. But I don't know if you're going to see him tonight as well. Defensive players. Who are the best defensive players? These are my list again. who I have on the board. Dallas Turner is one. All around solid, all around pass rusher. Alabama pass rushers have done very well in the league. I think I think this is a pretty safe pick if you're picking a Dallas Turner here. I don't think he's generational. I wouldn't have him at a Terrell Suggs or Bosa or at that level, but a good NFL. Say, I could see him getting 10 sacks 3 or 4 times in the league. Right situation. Terry Arnold, I'm a little surprised. Some people are more down on him. Terry Arnold's really good. I really like him as far as that goes. Again, Alabama corners as well do well. Can't go along with that either. A long history of good Alabama corners. I think there are two here in the first round, possibly him and Kool-Aid and Kendry. Quentin Mitchell, I think there's usually a guy who goes through the process and moves up a lot. I always use the example of Antonio Rogers Cromartie years ago. Kind of like a small school guy. You do well at the Senior Bowl. You do well at the Combine. You were kind of in that second two. You do all that stuff well. Now you're in the first. I think that's him. Blazing speed as well. Definitely he goes in the first round. I have Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins is really good, I think, as well. He's been sliding a bit. I think that kind of happens with the ascension of Quinion Mitchell as well during the draft process. He's a little higher, definitely a guy with a lot of experience, great speed that he has, and Lyle too. I love him to death. I love him to death. Had some medical issues. That is a real thing with him. Definitely had some medical issues, but that was something that he has to work through. Definitely had the neck issue as well, where he was diagnosed, where he had to retire from football. Okay, but apparently he was misdiagnosed. He was cleared. He came back on the field. His pass rush, quick around the edge. Absolutely, I could hear Eric DeCosta saying, well, this was the best player on the board, and I don't blame him. He's definitely a guy that the Ravens would absolutely look at in that role to go ahead and get squared away. So, those are the best defensive players on the board. Again, back to quarterback. 5 quarterbacks in the first round, I think it's going to be tonight. It's a possible 6. I think Penix goes tomorrow, but I think you're going to see 5 tonight in the first 12 picks, which is unusual. You're going to have 1, 2, 3. You're going to have Williams go first for sure. Daniels go second. May go third. And also, too, you're going to have May go third. J.J. McCarthy, I think it's 11. And also, too, Bo Nix, 12. All right. What else might happen? Drafts, rumors. Cortland Sutton on the block. I mentioned that. I got called adult on a couple of fanboys. A lot of them didn't like the idea. Maybe getting Ayuk is out there. The Squealers, I've heard the rumor. The Jags, I've heard the rumor. Could be a little smoke. Brandon Ayuk could be out there, could be available for a draft trade. It's possible that he gets traded tonight when you have a guy at this level. Cortland Sutton didn't go to the combine, didn't go to his organized team activities for the team in Denver. Possibly he's looking for a new deal. Possibly that he's out there, possible for a trade. So Ravens definitely going to keep their eye on that. If they didn't actually go ahead and sign with the Ravens, maybe they signed with a different team. That's absolutely possible that all could be going on tonight. So lots of things that could be happening. Who needs, what do the Ravens actually do? I think Jordan Morgan goes in their first round. I do. I do think offensive line is what it's going to be in round 1. They have to replace 3 starters. Unlike a lot of years, we're going to find out a lot about the line. John Simpson's gone, Kevin Zeitler's gone, and Morgan Moses was traded. He's going to be playing in New York. So you got to replace 3 starters. Interesting to see if they go ahead tonight and take Kool-Aid and McKinstry. All right, in the first round, let's just use him for example. And then they take Ricky Persall in the second round. Let's say you do that. That tells me they have confidence in who's here. And I mentioned that this week when I was posting on social media. How much confidence do they have in Andrew Voorhees that's here and start? A lot of fans like it. A lot of fans like Andrew Voorhees. How much confidence do they have in Ben Cleveland? I think Ben Cleveland, I think probably the one for me I have the most confidence on the right side. Some guys are guys that like a Patrick McCary where you can put him anywhere. I think Ben Cleveland's got to stay on that right side. It's never worked out on the left side, but he's very good on the right side. Daniel Falele, is he ready? That's the biggest if, I think. Is he ready to start at right tackle and replace Morgan Moses? If you see other positions early, especially in round one, round two, the Ravens feel comfortable with those guys. Interesting to see. So, interesting to see if the Ravens actually feel comfortable with those guys in the first round, in the second round, early, if they're actually able to do that. So, it'll be interesting to see that as well. No Lamar Jackson drama this year. No Lamar Jackson contract to report on this year on draft day. So we did have the Ravens go ahead, sign Rashard Bateman. Interesting to see how that goes for as well. Ravens fans, this is one of the best drafted teams in the NFL. This is what they do. Okay? They don't worry about any. This is probably short of any game. This is the day they worry about the most year. Eric Costa probably has been doing draft boards longer now, 20 plus odd years longer than anybody else in the NFL as far as GMs go. He's immaculate at this. This is what he does. He believes in building his team tonight through the draft. That's what he does. Okay, thank you. Are you guys ready for the draft out there? Thank you very much for watching us on the draft tonight. Want to go ahead and let's hit it right. You're going to hear that a lot if you watch the ESPN. One other thing. I want to share with you guys tonight. So definitely check us out here, ravorisports.company.site. This is the website. If you have never seen it, you can check out the Ravens hat, the Orioles t-shirt, the Ravens gear, the Ray Lewis jersey there as well. Orioles cap is on as well. Also, there's other things on here as well. So if you want to go to our website, that is what it is. It's ravorisports.company.site. Definitely, you can celebrate that Ravens stuff, that Ravens victory tonight in the draft, to go ahead and get brand new merchandise on the website. So we're happy to go ahead and accommodate that. Draft's about to start here, so we're going to go ahead and get out here and watch the draft. Definitely, we will see probably on tonight post draft. We'll see what the Ravens do. If they like trade out or something, then maybe there's nothing to talk about. But probably we'll be here after the draft is over. We'll be watching, just like all of you will. Enjoy the draft, everybody. Happy Easter, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa. It's draft day. Thank you for joining us here on the Ravy Sports Pre-Draft Podcast. You guys have a great rest of your day.